So yeah, I had the chance to go hands-on with Once Human, and this game is very, very different. It's also one of Steam's top wish-listed games of 2024 for a reason, but I love this big open world survival horror element to this game, but also these huge lumbering monstrosities with very unique character designs. There's a strange mosh pit of features from many different games that I think a lot of you guys would like. It borrows pals from Palworld, except this time they're called Deviants, and they are very creepy. They have a lot of different things they can do, from combat to helping you gather resources, all sorts of cool stuff there. There's even like a gingerbread house that can produce crumbs. There's a reason for it. I'll explain to you guys in just a moment. Also, yeah, there's powers from games like Control, so you can do things like that as well. And there's this element from even Stranger Things, like this upside down world, different layers to that as well. And there's even elements from the Souls franchise, so players can leave messages with you. Yes, this is a big cooperative experience. There's big raids, there's dungeons, all sorts of stuff. I should clarify, by the way, this is an MMO. It has PvE elements. It also has PvP, but you can also solo it, and there is elements of stealth. I'll show off that here as well. I was surprised by that. So clearly there's a lot going on with this game. It is very feature rich, and we're going to go over all these features right now. But yes, thank you to you all for making this video possible. Because of you guys watching my videos, NetEase did approach me and they said, hey, you want access to the closed beta for Once Human? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And guess what? They even sponsored this video. So special thank you to you all for making this possible, and NetEase for believing in my work. But yeah, I did want to talk a little bit about the open world itself. Now, right now, the game is in closed beta 3. So if you want a chance to get involved with the closed beta test, wishlist the game on Steam and check out the Discord community to qualify for the test. And yes, check out their website. All the links in the description below. It's like a 42-day long beta experience, one of the longer betas that I have seen for games. So it seems like they're very serious about getting this one tested out and getting all the connectivity issues ironed out, and also getting feedback from the community, which is really, really cool to see. But yeah, the open world itself, right now, we don't have access to its entirety. In fact, there's multiple biomes. Yeah, you've got swamplands, you've got the forest area, and even a desert biome, and everything in between, it seems. So yeah, it's pretty expansive, and there's dungeons on top of this that you can go into, underground areas, and a lot of really cool type facilities that you can find that are very, very reminiscent of like science experiments gone wrong. Very reminiscent of Control, which I personally loved Control, and to see them tap into that part of this type of game is very, very cool. And the story itself is very interesting. It seems like there's some sort of multi-world type experience going on here. You have deviants roaming around. You have all sorts of things going wrong in the world. It's your job to figure out what is going on, but it's also your job to figure out what's going on with these deviants. You may remember I mentioned that earlier in the video. Yes, they're kind of like pals from Palworld, but with a horror spin on them. They're kind of creepy, but also playful at times, and hilarious. But in terms of gameplay, they really do matter. In fact, every deviant is very different. You'll find a deviant that's more for combat, for example, like this butterfly. It can really take on some enemies. It might be a little bit misleading that a little butterfly can do such damage, but it can. And you can upgrade your deviants as well. And yes, this game does have base building, resource management. It is a survival horror game, so the survival aspect is very much alive in this game. So it is cool to have to manage your stamina, have to manage your hunger, your water, that sort of thing. And of course, your health will whittle down over time, and you have to sleep in a bed to really make sure that you can get back in the fight. So yeah, there's a lot of elements at play here, but the deviants can help with a lot of this stuff. With the base building, they can help you collect resources. There's even a deviant that can offer you like breadcrumbs. I spoke about that earlier. This is the gingerbread, and apparently you yourself can actually take on certain objects within the world. I didn't get to try this myself, but it sounds really intriguing, and it seems like the deviants offer so many different abilities and powers. So I'm curious to see where this goes in the game and whether or not they expand it. But yeah, they definitely piqued my interest for sure. And there's an extensive progression system as well. You're going to be wearing a backpack called a cradle, and this cradle will allow you to carry around a deviant with you to help you out on your adventures. If you want to head into a dungeon, face off against a boss, well, you're going to want to make sure that you and your deviant are upgraded enough to handle that. And that cradle, by the way, is more important than you realize, because it's going to also give you access to the mimetic screen, which is going to give you a ton of options on how you want to progress your character. Say you want to really go all in on base building, you can do that. You can find the tree for crafting, get better types of ammunition, and ultimately unlock better weapons. You do have to find blueprints throughout the world to get those better weapons, and you have to have the resources on top of that to craft those said weapons. And these weapons aren't your run-of-the-mill weapons, by the way. You can go and find a blueprint, for example, for this like MP5, which allows bullets to ricochet onto other enemies, softening up them, doing some collateral damage. It's very good for hordes. And there's a lot of cool stuff like this that you can discover. And there's even another layer to the cradle. As you can see, there's something called Cradle Override, which allows you to complete certain objectives, which unlocks very cool rewards and modifiers to your character and weapons, including damage boost to your SMGs. You can get better reload speed and that sort of thing, which can really enhance your character. And check this out right here. Yes, I actually did it. I found that creepy bus that roams around the open world, and it also holds a treasure chest inside, which gives you some very unique rewards, and you can visit this chest once a day as well. So there's reason to hop on the bus, but also if you do that, well, guess what? You're going to be swarmed. You better be prepared. So you're going to have to take on these enemies. And I have to say that I really do like the difficulty so far in this game. You know, there's moments where you can have downtime, and then there's moments where you really have to be on your toes, paying attention. And also, yeah, there's multiple difficulties heading into dungeons as well. So yeah, I really do like how one moment you can kind of chill, and the next moment you're having this sweaty palm type experience. Like right here, I was really on my toes trying to get out of there. And we've got to talk about these boss encounters right here. They are something else. This was a pleasant surprise with this game. They are held in with these dungeons like these rift towers, and they are one of the ultimate goals to accomplish as you head into new regions. You're going to work your way up to handling the boss, defeating him. But yeah, what's really neat is there are multiple difficulties for the boss. So on harder difficulties, it is recommended to have 2 to 4 players. But yes, you can solo the boss if you want to on normal difficulty. But you can see how you can use your like control type powers against the boss. And with this boss as well, you can actually use his own weapons against him eventually. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. And I have got to show you guys one of the biggest highlights from my time with Once Human. Yes, what is going on right here? I was like, what in the world? So I decided to shoot these hand things inside this house. And guess what? It stirred the entire house and caused it to move. It's like a living, breathing creature. I kid you not. And it blew me away. And I also saw people in chat mentioning, oh my God, I'm seeing the house move. What is going on? So this was a real big surprise. And you're probably wondering, well, what's the point of this? Can you take the house around the open world? Well, you definitely do not want to leave the house, because hidden within is a secret. If you can really dissect what is going on here and pay attention to some of the clues, you can end up shooting certain items around the house, which will ultimately reveal a very, very cool secret, a treasure that you can obtain. And you could visit this house, I believe, like once a week or something like that, to obtain the rare items held within the treasure. And then ultimately the house does drop down to its base and you can just hop off. But it is cool that other players can actually see it. And you know those dungeon bosses I mentioned beforehand? Well, guess what? There's bosses that are actually outside of the dungeons. They're more like sub-bosses around the world, including the Rainfall Reaper, who sends out flying umbrellas towards you that can absolutely devastate your health. You got to really be on the move and also utilize some of your powers, if not all of them, to take down the Rainfall Reaper. Now, once you do defeat the Rainfall Reaper, you can actually take one of the umbrellas and it will unlock massive amounts of damage if you use it, just like we're seeing right now. Poof, they are absolutely wrecked and destroyed. But I asked myself, can I accomplish defeating the Rainfall Reaper in stealth mode? And guess what? Yes, stealth ended up being a very viable option in this game, which kind of blew my mind. So it is really cool to see that stealth was very much a viable option. and I quietly use my crossbow, as you can see here, devastating enemies without them realizing what's going on. By the way, yeah, there is like a first-person perspective you can switch to when aiming down sights as well, but boom, the Reaper is taken care of. So yeah, I'm still really enjoying my time in Once Human. I just entered a brand new region, so it's the Swamplands, and I'm wondering what's going to be happening next. I have a new boss to encounter, so that's pretty exciting. And it just seems like this adventure that keeps unfolding, and I like the idea of these bigger events, which I have yet to really try out. I mean, these are very, very big events that they're teasing for the full game, so I'm really, really curious see what people say about that. And what's also really nice about this game is that it is going to be free to play, so you can just hop on and try it without worrying about like spending $70 and not knowing if you're going to like it or not. So I really do like that sort of thing with this game. But yeah, just going to be enjoying my time in Once Human. I hope to see you guys online, by the way. Maybe we can all band together and build like an entire community or something like that. I saw a lot of that, by the way, which was really cool. But yes, look out for more Once Human videos. I have you guys covered. If there's any news and updates, new beta opportunities, that sort of thing, I will let you guys know. But thank you all so much for watching. Take care.